Hi folks, Friction RC here. Thought I'd make another video, this time to do with my Drift RC. This is the second one that I own. I sold the first one, that was the one with the Porsche body on it. That was a FTX Banzai with a originally S15 body shell. I literally tore that original body shell apart because it was chipped, and I tried to do a bit of a body mod to it that failed miserably. I got a Porsche body which I then tried to learn how to paint on, decal it all up. You might see it on some of my other videos and stuff. But anyway, I got rid of that. The main reason for getting rid of that is no point having two of these because I don't have a Drift RC club near me. There's not really smooth services for them to run, and I don't live in a mansion, so the carpet is not going to be big enough in my house. So I got rid of that. That was secondhand. It was well worn by the time I got it, although it worked fine when I had it. The 2 or 3 times I used it, it worked perfectly. But I also got this because I was on a nut job scene, and I thought few months after getting the first one, I was like, oh wow, these things are good, man. I could get another one. And I found this Maverick Strada DC, another Drift RC. It's a ready to race like the other one. I'm not a hardcore drifter or drift fan, as it were, in clubs and stuff like that. So buying a ready to race is the way to go for me. I'm not going to spend like 150 odd quid on a chassis and then spend another 150 to 200 pounds doing it all up with the fancy electronics and all sorts of gubbins. For me, this is more than enough. And if I just take this off for a sec, as you can see, I haven't done anything to this in terms of cleaning it or using it. I've only run it like once when I got it just to check it worked indoors, and that's it. So as you can see, apart from a bit of dust here, which is I think the foam mainly, yeah, that's the foam, it's in really, really good nick, good condition. You know, I don't know whether the guy who had it before me cleaned it and sent it to me, or just he looked after it well. Obviously the plastic tires, they're scratch marks, so it made me wonder whether this had been run outside. But then if I flip this over, apart from like a little mark here, which is like almost a sticker mark that might have been there, this is pretty much, the underside is pretty much untouched. It's wicked. So maybe the person who owned this has run it indoors and that's it, and really cleaned it, because even if you run it indoors, you get all that kind of lint and stuff that gathers, and there's been nothing like that. So I'm gonna keep this as my main thing. Obviously plastic tires. I come from a different generation where, for me, drifting on plastic tires is a bit of a easy thing to do, in the sense that obviously with plastic tires it's going to slide well anyway. Yes, drifting is difficult. You have to learn how to control the car. Having a build your own kind of thing on those Y2 whatever they're called chassis, fantastic. But putting plastic tires and anything will obviously make it drift, and that's not what we're up when I was born, sort of watching cars and stuff sliding around on proper tires. And even the cars we had as kids, you know, the only plastic tires we had on our cars were like Corgis, Matchbox, that, or in America Hot Wheels. So the first thing I want to do is look around for rubber tires or foam tires so I can actually run this on the road, because it makes such a racket with plastic tires on normal UK roads and pavements, because it's not smooth around here, is it? It's not like in America or say Japan or Hong Kong, where it's really flat most of the time. So I managed to get myself a box load of tires. Let's pull these all in. I've got more, but these are the ones I'll show you. So a combination of rubber. There's nothing inside that, it's just air, I guess, but it's still rubber outsole, plastic, or foams. Now this is the original one that came on the car, and to give you an idea, this is what the hard foam looks like. So it's pretty much exactly the same size, dimension. And if we compare it to the rubber one, can you see there's a slight, if I do it, I'm trying to get these things to stand. Let's try this, here we go. Hopefully that will show you. There's a slight, obviously not slight, it's quite a big difference in terms of width and size because of the fact it's rubber. So what I've always wanted to do was, since I've got these things, is to put these on the car and see how it performs outdoors. So I'm going to be nipping out in a little while. I'm going to be taking this with me, and I'm going to start off with the rubber tires, and then seeing how that goes. I might switch to the foam tires, but these are quite hard. So the thing with it being hard is, obviously, unless the surface is really, really smooth, the slightest bump in the road is going to transfer all the way through it, and it's going to bump around a bit. But I'm definitely going to fix these rubber tires first and see how it goes. Separately, let me just pause this for a sec. Back again. So yeah, as I said, one of the reasons I got into drift RC stuff is because I see those vids of people in Malaysia, Hong Kong making these wicked drift bodies, like really realistic, and I wanted to try and learn how to do all that stuff, starting off with painting, but then body modification. So after getting the Porsche one, I had a look around. I've got a spare Alpha body somewhere as well, but I'm not going to touch that yet. I picked this up again secondhand. It's all been cut, but obviously I don't think it has that plastic sheet that comes on top of it to protect it when painting. But I'm going to wash this. This is a Mercedes-Benz. I think it's like a C-Class. Don't think it's an AMG body. Could be a DTM. Could be AMG DTM body, I don't know. But so what I'm going to do is, at some point, put this as a second shell on here. Now, I don't like running with body post visible. I've got myself some magnetic posts, as it were, that go underneath it so it can hold in place magnetically. So I'm going to do something with the posts, either get some smaller ones or reduce the height and measure it all up and then fix it that way and then paint it. Not sure what the color scheme is going to be. My favorite racing driver of all time, more than Senna, and now I'm going to cause issues here, is actually Mika Hakkinen, F1 driver. So I don't know whether to go down the finish route and just have it like white with a blue cross on it, or do something different. But anyway, we shall see. But for the time being, I'm going to take this out. It's not going to look this nice anymore. I'm going to start using this a bit. Because it's sunny as well outside. There's no puddles, hopefully. I'm going to attach the wheels, the rubber tyres, and hopefully make another vid of this in action.